Hello, Lynn Del Mastro Thompson here, coming to you in this video to share with you a little bit about some exciting new developments and transformations in the work that I am doing. So I am actually creating a movement for women who are ready to stop deprioritizing their own needs. They're ready to stop overgiving and having poor boundaries and saying yes when they really don't want to say yes. All of the things that so many of us women tend to do. And when we do these things, we wind up feeling exhausted, burned out, resentful, and our health and well-being suffers as a result. So I am creating something called the Sovereign Self-Healing Sisterhood movement. And this is for women who are ready to make those changes and to start making themselves a priority, for women who are ready to become embodied and empowered again so that they can put themselves at the top of their priority list. And then their lives and their health can be truly transformed through doing this. So this kind of movement has been something that I've been inspired to create, and there's been a lot of just inspiration coming. Kind of started the week of my birthday, which is really exciting for me to kind of be receiving that information. I went to Sedona on my birthday, and kind of this whole idea just started to unfold and come into creation. So a couple things about the movement that I want to share, and then I'm going to share ways that you can actually start to become part of this movement, because I would love for you, if this calls to you, for you to be part of it. So why do I believe that this is so important? I believe it's so important because we as women for centuries have really been culturally conditioned to put ourselves last. So I know I observed my own mother and my grandmother having that pattern of overgiving to other people and not putting themselves at the top of their priority list. And unfortunately for me, witnessing my mother do that, she actually, by doing that, ended up bringing her life to an end last year too soon. She passed away of kidney disease. And I don't really believe if she had prioritized herself and her health that she would have passed at that time in her life. And so through doing some very deep healing work of my own around my feelings around her passing and some other pieces that I'm not going to get into around that, but I realized that this is really on my heart, because what did I learn growing up? I learned to witness my mother be an amazing caregiver, first to my grandfather who had Parkinson's when I was a little girl, then to my grandmother. Then she actually helped take care of me in my 20s when I was having some health challenges. She took care of my dad a number of years ago when he was having issues, but she was really not very good at taking care of herself. And so I don't want to repeat those patterns. And I think to some degree, the blessing on one side of going through something with my health at a young age is I realize very early in my life, rather than, when I'm in my 50s or 60s, that I need to prioritize my own health and my needs, because I know the consequences of that. But there's a lot of women out there, and I struggle with many of these things, and I'm working through these patterns myself, where I didn't learn how to set healthy boundaries for myself. I didn't learn how to easily say no. In fact, my mother was really good at saying no for me. And so I learned growing up that if I just kind of sat back and I didn't say the uncomfortable thing, she would say it for me, which, as wonderful as that felt as a small child, it made me feel safe. Growing up, it didn't really empower me to kind of stand on my own 2 feet and learn to express, no, I don't want to do that. No, that doesn't really interest me. Sorry, I'm not going to help you with that. I didn't learn how to speak up. And I also witnessed this pattern of overgiving and self-sacrifice that she had. So for me, this movement is about us as women coming together to stop those patterns and and generational cycles that we probably have been stuck in. If you haven't, I'm proud of you, and that's wonderful. But most of the women that I'm talking to really resonate with this idea that, yeah, it's hard for me to say no. It's hard for me to put myself first. It's not nice. It's not good, right, for us to claim our own needs, wants, and desires. And it's time to change that, because I don't want to pass that on to future generations. I don't have a child. I don't have, a daughter, but I don't want future generations to experience that. I've been a mentor to a young woman who is now 19. I've been a mentor to her since she was 6. I would love for her to live in a world where that is not such a thing, right? That she's just confident and empowered to say her wants, needs, and desires and speak them out loud and just feel good about that. So I believe that when we step into this movement that is being created, and I'm seeing other people in the world creating work that's similar to this, so there's kind of like this collective energy. I believe it frees up time, creativity, energy. So whether you're somebody who works for yourself and you're really passionate about what you're creating and wanting to offer to the world in your service, in your business, whether you have a career and you work for somebody else, but you're really passionate about that. Like when we deplete our energy saying yes to things we don't want to do, things that are menial or trivial that we don't have the energy to do, then it takes away from the energy to be in that role of creating things and making change. It takes away from our joy as well. Like I know, sometimes I've put things that I just enjoy, like dancing and, doing different hobbies. They've gone on the back burner. And if you can relate to that, I'm hearing many women say that they can, it's like I was talking to a friend and she said, I haven't painted in the longest time and I don't even know how to get myself back to doing that. So, these are struggles that we face. And when we don't do the things that light us up, again, we're not this fully embodied and lit up version of ourselves. We're just kind of the version that's scraping by. Our health, I certainly believe, doesn't benefit when we say yes to everything instead of saying yes to ourselves and our needs. So there's so many big benefits of doing this work. We just become like happier and healthier human beings. And that's what I really want to help be part of creating in this world with this movement. So if this is speaking to you, if you're really interested in this idea and this movement, the first step to being part of it, I invite you to be part of a free healing activation call that I'm going to be doing on Thursday, March 13th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So this particular call is going to be, again, a healing activation, and it's really around creating the ability to feel safe in our bodies, activating the ability to feel safe in our bodies when we say no. So instead of being kind of the type of woman where your palms get sweaty and your heart races and you're kind of watching for that person to react in a negative way when you say no, what would it be like? I invite you to just take a second and close your eyes, maybe even picture it. Like, what would it be like to just be able to say no without all of that, all of the body sensations, all of the mental head drama, and just be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. Or just no, like, no, I can't. And leave it at that. That is what we're going to be working towards embodying through this activation, through creating this energetic sense of safety. So it's going to be an energy healing, but it's also going to be, it's kind of labeling itself as an activation in our fields and in our nervous system of feeling safe and calm in that process. So if you'd like to be part of that, I will include a link here where you can sign up for free to join that. If you can't make it live, it will be recorded, but I would love if you can be there live to be there live, because I think there's going to be a lot of power in being together in real time. But don't let that hold you back. If you have, a work obligation, if it doesn't work for your time zone, whatever, you can still sign up and you'll get the activation sent to you as a recording afterwards. So that is the first step in becoming part of the movement. And you can come and just experience what is being created here. And then beyond that, there is going to be a 12-week container for women who really want to dive more into this. So that is really moving into the sovereign self-healing sisterhood. It's kind of a circle experience where there will be more of these healing activations, where you will also experience the power of working with your subconscious mind through hypnosis. We will have coaching calls as well to kind of work more with practices and consciousness practices. We're going to do some nervous system work around feeling safe in our bodies when we say no. And the energy work is very much around that boundaries piece. And then we're going to do some fun embodiment practices. So getting back into our bodies, getting back into taking up space in our bodies. This is something I did a lot more of, probably 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And it's really calling to me to just be in my body, to move, to take up space, to feel what it feels like to be in my body. So that's going to be part of it as well. And there'll be more information coming about how to be part of that as well. So thank you for taking the time to check out this video about this shift and evolution in my work. I still believe that this will benefit you if you are someone who is dealing with a chronic health issue, if you're on my list because of that. I believe that when we free up, our energy and our resources internally, then self-healing can start to happen in our bodies. But when we're stressed out and depleted and overwhelmed and overworked, and not saying yes to ourselves, then it's harder for our bodies to do that self-healing. So I invite you to come and check out the free healing activation and see, does this feel like it's something you want to be part of?